Hello there and welcome to Dean Park Station. This is the first update of 2014. I'll quickly take you through 2 or 3 of the wee things that I've been working on and give you some hints as to where I'm going in the new year with the layout. First thing I've been doing is I've been working on the retaining wall along the back of the station. I've removed some of the roof to let you see what's going on here. It's not fixed yet. As you can see the screw holes there. It's not actually fixed to the raised section yet. I can't do that until I've ballasted the lower section and the upper section, because I don't want ballast and PVA and whatnot getting next to my card models. But as you can see, it kind of finishes it off nicely there, and I'll put in the buttresses to cover the screw holes when I'm finished. I'll move along slightly towards the east end of the station. I've continued the wall along and it now angles out towards the east end road bridge, which will be a girder bridge, and across here where the wood's piled up, that will be a level crossing. Just made it of this is 6mm ply on pine supports, and I've got a Wills kit girder made up, and it'll sit on top of the supports. I'll show you that just now. Sit something like that. So this kit was only, I think, £4.50 from eBay, and it's fairly easy to build up. Made this up maybe in an hour and a half, and it's not painted yet, it's still in the grey. I'll probably just give it a spray of grey primer and maybe some graffiti. I'll certainly be weathering it with some rust and general grime as and when I get round to it. I'll cover the wooden blocks in the brick paper with some buttresses at either side. And I'll also be adding some detail just under the girder, maybe some more rivet detail, a band of steel plate along there with some rivets. And as I turn the camera around, this is the ramp taking its way down to the car park for the station. Not finished yet, but I'm working on the retaining wall part of that just now, as you can see. The actual cutting of the ramp itself is a bit fiddly. I had to cut the angles. I had to use Sign, Cuss and Tan for the first time since I was at high school to work out the angles, and they've worked out quite well. And if I go around this here, I've sanded down the bottom of the ply so it sits. There's no massive step when you go up the ramp. Quite pleased what I've done so far. That'll be a roadway with pavement, and it will take up to the main carriageway, and again it'll be pavement on both sides with the road up the middle. And I've allowed 100mm or 10 centimetres for the road and about 25 centimetres for the pavement, which I've looked online and tried to find out actual road sizes, and that's pretty near it. So that's what I've done so far with the east end. Hoping to get that finished in the next couple of weeks. I can turn my attention to other things. Quite impressed with the girder. It's, as I said, quite easy to fit together, and it's quite robust and sturdy, and that'll take a good coat, spray primer just to make it more lifelike and less, plastic shininess. So there we go. That'll just sit on there, bit of PVA or something to hold it in place, or some super glue. Another wee job I've been doing since Christmas was fitting this flashing tail light to one of my hopper wagons. I'll add a wee bit of buffer beam detail as well using leftovers, pipe work, etc. But I got the Train Tech flashing tail light kit. I think it was £13 from Hatton's. It comes with 2 LEDs. One's a red one, which I've painted the surrounds to white to make it look like a lantern. The other one's clear, which you could also paint white, but it would just look like it's got a clear lens red flashing lantern, as opposed to the red lens one that I've used. I think the red lens one was more common around the time that I'm modelling, so hence I used it. It's fairly simple to fit, which I'll show you shortly, but I say it doesn't go on unless it detects movement, and then it will stay on for 4 minutes after the train stops. So it doesn't just stop when the train stops. It's quite an impressive thing actually, it looks quite realistic. I'll get the train moving to show you it springing into life. I say these Train Tech ones are, they're pretty user friendly. It's powered by a watch battery. I suppose the only downside to that is you'll have to replace it, but I don't think it'll be drawing too much current out of the battery to need replacing a lot. So I'll just start it up and show you it starting to work. Okay, so here we have the actual hopper, and I'll turn it upside down so you can see the kind of wiring. There's a blue cable there, and underneath it there's the brown for the live and the neutral. And I've just put a bit of heat shrink on it as it goes towards the flashing lantern there. And I just bored 2 holes through the buffer beam, pretty straightforward, and also 2 holes in the floor of the wagon to take it through into the hopper area. And all I did was I took the lid off that, took the coal load out, and it's fairly easy to wire in there. If I could get this out I would, and I'd show you inside it. There we go. There's the internal workings of it. Say 2 wires coming through the floor, and it goes into a circuit board. This is the brown and the blue there. It's very straightforward, and there's the watch battery. So if you press it down into place, the coal load fits on top. Press that down, get the canopy back on. You'd never know there's anything in there, and I say it's quite impressive. You get this was a red painted LED, and a red coloured LED, sorry, and I've painted it white. You can also get a clear LED which you could paint white to give a clear lensed bulb instead of the red, but because of the ERAM modelling, these were more common in my opinion with the red covered light. And I just used the buffer beam detail. I got that off a Hornby Class 56 detailing pack that I'd left over, so again I just bored a couple of wee holes and it went. No doubt you can add couplings. I know I'm going to try and track down a coupling to finish it off, but this will be the very end wagon in the rake, so I've not bothered putting the actual coupling back on for attaching to another wagon. It's going to be at the end. That's all the updates for now. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Please feel free to add your comments and subscribe, and I'll hopefully be along again in the early February with a completed East End girder bridge and retaining walls. Cheers for now.